Since 2014, Austrian manufacturer KTM has been propelling the advent of the small capacity performance motorcycle out here in India with its RC series of motorcycles. Now, over the course of time, not only has KTM managed to make them a lot lighter and more agile for track use, but also a lot more compliant for daily usage as well, by pumping in a lot of riding aids and a lot of tech as well. Now, this motorcycle you see here, the 2022 RC 390, is a culmination of all their efforts over the years. It's an all-new motorcycle, and yes, this bike is just built for one purpose: to egg you on to do better out on track, to be comfortable as a touring machine out on the road. And we are out here at the Bajaj test track in Chakan to tell you what riding it is all about. Our first impressions. Let's go. Like the lower displacement RC 125 and RC 200 models, this bike, the RC 390, has been on the receiving end of substantial number of changes. A new updated design, new chassis, slightly tweaked engine, and this one even gets some class-leading electronics thrown in as well. Now this 2022 RC 390 has undergone a complete overhaul over the outgoing model. Let's start off with some of the design and features. Taken from the front, well, as you can see, this motorcycle has been based, or it gets its styling cues from KTM's MotoGP machine, that is the RC16. It has a bigger, broader face. Not a lot of people will tend to like it because it doesn't look all that aggressive, but then again, it has have a purposeful aspect to it, as in it does give you a lot more wind buffeting and a lot more aerodynamic aspects as well to it. You can duck in behind this big windscreen a lot nicer than before. The suspension unit out front is a WP Apex upside down fork, but unlike the unit on the bike sold in other parts of the world, this bike doesn't come with the option of adjustability. The fairing has been revised to allow better heat dispersion and aid aero as well. The handlebar has been lowered and it comes with two settings. The tank volume has gone up in size from the older model from 9.5 litres to 13.7 litres, which should help when you're out sport touring, out on the road. Further back, you see the exposed new bolt-on subframe with the WP Apex monoshock suspension that can be adjusted for preload and dampening. Further back on the bike, you get a new NCAN unit, and it also brandishes some KTM badging. Now this looks a bit aftermarket, but it looks rather cool, and it sounds a little better than before too. The bike also gets a new grab rail design, where it now isn't integrated into the tail panels as the model before, which should help the pillion have a better seating on the bike when you're riding out on road. This TFT color display is lifted straight off the KTM 390 Adventure. It looks quite familiar, the layout and everything. It's just that this bike does come with a couple of more electronic aids. This bike gets Supermoto ABS, which allows you to turn off the ABS at the rear and tones down the ABS at the front, allowing you to step the tail out, hone your braking skills and really experiment with the braking zones. But the best bit of tech definitely has to be the traction control unit on this bike, which is a first in this segment. Not only is this a brilliant feature that allows you to really push your limits, but it also gives you a comfortable safety net if things get out of hand. Aiding performance is a larger airbox. It's now 40% larger than the unit on the outgoing model, and this allows the engine to breathe a lot better. The engine, on the other hand, comes mated to a 6-speeder, and it also gets a slipper clutch and a quick shifter, which really comes in handy when you're going out hard and aggressive on track. With the new KTM model, the company have really focused on optimizing the bike's handling and performance dynamics by reducing the unsprung mass of the bike with the new chassis and lighter wheels. They all contribute to the bike's curb weight being brought down by 1 kg from the older generation model, even with the new bits added on, which is astounding. Once you're on the bike, you can almost immediately tell the difference, and as soon as you lean into a corner at speed, that's when this bike really comes into its own over the older model. It just feels a lot more rigid and agile than before. The midsection feels a lot narrower than before too, which allows you more room for your knees, and this in turn allows you to get a better hold of the bike in the bends. Turn-ins are much quicker than before, and changing direction in general is a lot easier, and this should make touring on this bike a lot better than before too. Alright, now to sum up the 2022 RC 390. After the complete overhaul, after all the changes that the company have incorporated into this motorcycle, yes, it definitely has turned up the notch on agility and that whole X factor out on track with its nimbleness and its weight savings. But then again, not only is this machine a track focused bike, it also has improved on its daily rideability as well. Now with the amount of electronics this bike packs, if you're the kind of rider who's new to this performance biking aspect, well, all the electronics this bike has on board will certainly help you out and help you hone your skills to be a better rider and be the best you can be. Well, on the other hand, if you're a more seasoned rider, you can switch all the electronics off because they are all switchable, and that's a fantastic thing. So it really is a bike that caters to all walks of life. Now this bike will set you back by around 3,14,000 rupees, which is a good 35,000 rupees over the outgoing model. But then again, once you look at this bike as an overall package, all that it comprises, the electronics, the tech that's gone into it, all the new components as well, it certainly makes a strong case for itself and it pretty much justifies the price tag.